So, we learned that song basically in 2 one-hour sessions, and thanks to Kyle, and who came and guided our path and gave us the guitar accompaniment, because we learned it like plunking along on the piano with a great accompaniment, but we knew that we weren't going to do it with a track. So he stepped in and came to our rehearsal and helped us, and I'm just really appreciative of that. Yeah. So, oh God. Okay, so it seems like what we've been talking about is metaphors and mystical and metaphysical and stories and all of that. And I embrace this teaching so much because, as you well know, I wasn't born into the science of mind teaching. I grew up Catholic, and I really know that my Catholicism really helped me to ground me spiritually in a path of opening up to that there was like a greater power than myself and my little small world. So I never look back on it with like, oh, blah. I always just am thankful that I had a spiritual upbringing. And but there came a point where I didn't necessarily agree with everything that was being taught to me. And yet, that idea of the higher power or the part of myself that was part of something bigger stayed with me. I just didn't know how to express it. And until I found the science of mind. And then all of a sudden someone said to me, God's not out there. I mean, why has nobody ever seen God? I mean, even Moses saw a burning bush, I guess. So it's because it isn't a being, it is a presence that pulls all of creation into expression, that this divine essence, this quantum field, whatever you want to call it, this pulsation of life that is constantly recreating and creating from itself. That's who we are. And when I heard that, it just totally made sense. It just made sense. And there was something within me that just said, yes, I'm not a sinner like I was brought up to think. I might make mistakes, and my mistakes might be times that I forgot who I was, or that I was struggling to find out who I was. So it wasn't like I was going to be condemned forever because of something I might have done. And to learn that everything that we do, every part of our life, is part of the spiritual growth that is our souls, I can't say I know what comes after this, because the veil's down right now, but I know that within myself, and I say this to my friends that are experiencing things, is that there's a part of us that knows that we're always taken care of. We might have forgotten it, but I remember telling my mother that when she was getting close to her death, that part of yourself, Mom, and she was Catholic, that is God, that is Jesus, that is all that, is never going to let you down. It never lets you down now, so it's always going to be there. And I really know that about that. I don't know what comes after, I don't care to say it does, but I know deep within my being, I know that. So we have all these stories. We have the story of Passover, which is ended on Friday or Saturday. I think Friday. Saturday. Yeah, so we get to celebrate that, and we get to celebrate Easter at the same time. And we get to celebrate it by the metaphors that are there. The Exodus being these people that were, oppressed and needed freedom and needed to get out of Egypt. What did they do? They made a decision that they were going to do it. And they had a beautiful leader that took them there. But they had to make the decision, and I'm sure they griped and complained. And we have to make a decision. Every time we have a growth spurt or something that we want to change in our life, we have to decide to do so. We're all trapped in we're not all, but there's a part of us that can be trapped in some Egyptian slavery that's within us. It's just a metaphor. And what is it that we have to let go of? Let my people go. What do we have to let go of? Like our old beliefs and things that hold us down and limit us and tell us that we're less than we are. Just like when I was a kid, I didn't know my greatness. I just knew I was this little small person, right? So what are those things that we get to let go of? But it takes a decision. And it takes trust. Like the story of the Red Sea is a story of faith. It's a story of trust that they had already made their decision, and they trusted that the universe was going to answer their yes. Yes, we're free. So what is it? Sometimes when we want to make a change in our life, we have to trust, and we have to go into a place that's unknown. In fact, I would say that any time I've ever made a change, there's always been an unknownness about it. It's just like when people pass away, there's that moment where there's like a surrender to the unknown. I've seen it. And it's like that surrender to the unknown and knowing yet that you're held. And I think that to me is the biggest metaphor of that story. And as far as Jesus is concerned and his life and his death, Jesus was a political rebel. Don't know anything else. He was a rebel. And he believed in what he believed, and he went against everything that was being shouted at him and shouted at the people that he influenced. So I always think, and he didn't mind speaking his mind. He was a rabbi, and he was all of those things, and he didn't mind. And it brought him to a place where, unfortunately, he had to die, because that's what they did in those days to people like that. So, and they do it now too, to a certain extent. Sometimes, we hope not. Well, I'm thinking of Martin Luther King and Gandhi and people like that who were outspoken and suffered from that. But that doesn't mean we don't do it. That doesn't mean if we have a truth that we have to tell, we have to be willing to tell that truth no matter what it's going to mean. And if that truth is love, then I don't think anything can stop us, because we're eternal, and I'm not afraid of that. It's our truth. We believe in the science of mind that we are free. We believe that we are united. We believe that there is inclusivity. That means everybody is an expression of God. Everybody is a being that deserves the rights, because that's what it is. We're God expressing, and the more God can express itself, the more God can express itself, and the more it's known. So that's what we're here for. So I am grateful for people like Jesus. I'm grateful for, the Gandhis and the Martin Luther Kings and all the people, but now I know that we're the people. We're the people that have to let go of all our garbage and all our stuff and ground ourselves and know that we're safe, we're guarded, we're guided, and we're protected, and that we accept our divinity. Because in the science of mind, and you don't have to believe this if you don't want to, this is my belief, the belief of our teaching, is that it wasn't exclusionary. It wasn't just for Jesus. We are divine. And he even told us that. He told us, don't you know you're God's? We are divine. And it's time for us to accept that and move into it and express it in the way that's uniquely ours. So happy Easter, happy Passover, and thank you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you. And thank you, Namaste.